This here is issue number 2 of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 comic by Boom Studios and IDW. The story this time begins in Dimension X. Rita's and Shredder's minions are seen together along with the recently escaped Baxter Stockman, and we find out who orchestrated Stockman's escape. It was Rita Repulsor, looking more menacing than ever before. Rita wanted the Rangers and the Turtles brought before her. Rocksteady begins to explain that they had them right where they wanted them, but then Rita's Ranger, Casey, appeared. Because Casey showed up, the Turtles and the Rangers lived. Anyway, Rita tells Rocksteady to ready the troops, while Goldar checks on Finster's putty progress and to have him make more. Back in New York, the Rangers and the Turtles go over what's been happening. That bad guys on both sides are being abducted. Michelangelo dubs Casey's Ranger form Ranger X because of the X across his chest when morphed. The Rangers go on to explain to the Turtles that Rita's made evil Rangers before, Tommy being the brainwashed Green Ranger, and if this uses the TV show's shared history, the evil Rangers in the episode A Bad Reflection on You, when the putties were trying to give the real Rangers a bad name. Tommy tells Raphael that Rita usually enchants an item close to the person, something sentimental to brainwash that person. Raphael believes this could be Casey's hockey stick that needs breaking to release him from Rita's spell. Next, we see Casey speaking with General Krang. We see the morphers that belonged to the original Rangers of Dimension X. Krang says they were forced to destroy them when the Rangers rose up against the Utroms. So, will we see those Rangers at some point, or is Casey going to be the only one? Anyway, Casey tells Krang that playing hero only gets you so far. He claims it was time to pick a side, and he aims to win. So that explains why Casey is now fighting for the bad guys, apparently. Rita then enters the scene, and after Casey leaves, Rita asks if Krang has located Shredder yet. Simply put, the answer is no. So he's not been seen for quite some time. We then see Zordon and Splinter playing chess as they discuss the lives the Turtles and the Rangers have been thrust into. Kimberly, Jason, Leonardo and Raphael are practicing combat skills. Donatello, Tommy and Billy are working on the Dragon Zord, while Michelangelo, Trini and Zack are sat in front of a pizza but not eating. So both teams are clearly affected by the current situation. In Angel Grove, Bulk and Skull are talking with April when suddenly a portal opens right in front of them. As Bulk and Skull run away, April calls the Turtles. And we see Rita leading a large strike force into Angel Grove. Billy says that with a threat of this scale, they should initiate shadow morphing. That means the Rangers need the Turtle Rangers, and Jason says it's morphin time. The Rangers call out the dinosaurs, and then both sets of heroes shout "Powerbunga" as they all morph into action. So the battle begins downtown, and we learn from Billy that he and Donatello were able to keep the grid connection active for 26 minutes. That's how long the Shadow Morphers will hold. Leonardo says they have to turn back an alien invasion and save the world in the length of a Saturday morning cartoon, which is essentially what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were in the 90s. April is the Pink Ranger on the Turtles side, but she lacks the skirt Kimberly has. Kimberly says it's a controversial choice, and April says she honestly didn't know it was an option. That and Leonardo's comment about the Saturday morning cartoon were some fun references to the actual TV shows. Now, while this fight is happening, Scorpina and Co are outside the command center. Now, ordinarily, you need a power coin to enter. However, Stockman informed Scorpina that the key to entering the command center isn't to turn the energy shield down to keep people out, but turning the surrounding Valiant radiation up. That essentially pokes holes in the shield, and so Bebop blasts their way into the command center. In downtown Angel Grove, the others are still fighting. Alpha informs the Rangers of the breach at the command center. Billy says that they're going after Zordon. Leonardo tells Alpha not to panic and to stay out of sight. Reinforcements are on the way. And so, Jason, Tommy and Raphael arrive at the command center to try and stop Scorpina and the others from getting to Zordon. So, earlier, Tommy said that Rita usually enchants an item close to the person, something sentimental to brainwash that person. Raphael fights Casey, thinking that he can break Casey free of Rita's spell. Raphael destroys Casey's weapon. However, even after the weapon's broken, Casey strikes Raphael, saying that he's not brainwashed. This is all him. When Raphael asks why he's turned, Casey says it's crazy, but it will all make sense eventually. Raphael just has to trust him. The Rangers downtown continue fighting. Billy asks Alpha if he's sealed the breach, but is told things have only gotten worse. Tommy and Jason are protecting Zordon, but he doesn't know for how long. They need more help. It's funny as Scorpina is fighting Tommy because she says Rita sent them there for other reasons, but destroying Zordon is just too good to pass up. She can't wait, and hears it's quite the light show. Well, if it's anything like Power Rangers in space and Scorpina shattered Zordon's tube, that would be interesting. Would Scorpina be purified, or would she turn to dust in this? We don't see what happens. Alpha is the last line of defense. As Bebop is about to fire on Alpha, Bebop's weapon is stopped as a voice says that they can't allow that. We find out that it was Shredder, and he says he can't allow this invasion to continue at all. That was all pretty exciting. Casey looks to possess a morpher that belonged to the original Rangers of Dimension X. So, there were indeed Rangers in that dimension too. Rita looks more evil than before, but does she really ever hold on Casey? It's unclear what Casey is actually doing. Is he under Rita's spell, or is he acting out a plan and having to play both sides? Shredder in the end there adds more questions. Why did he stop Bebop from firing on Alpha? Why can't he let the invasion continue? There's a lot of mystery, and it's got us guessing, which is fine. It's got me hooked, and want to continue reading. There is one criticism though that I feel I must point out. The command center is breached yet again. We've seen this happen in the original TV show. We've seen it happen in the original movie. We've seen it happen in the comics. Now, I know in order to capture or kill Zordon, mostly involves getting into the command center. However, did we really need yet another story about breaking into the command center? On the plus side, at least the way the bad guys breached the command center was original, needing a human to come up with the idea of turning up the power basically to overload the shield. And it was a character from another series as well, and not a Power Rangers character.